Hiya, I'm Aviana Lemaire, content creator and actually autistic. I vlog, show products and reviews, and share my autistic female POC perspective. You're invited every day in April 2022 for my Autism Acceptance Month uploading spree, with a special subject on April 2nd, World Autism Awareness Day. Every day I'm posting a brand new YouTube short or full video, each with new information about autism and life as an autist. Help spread the awareness that leads to acceptance. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to be there for each informative, brand new, laid-back video. See you there, or be square. Howdy. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What's wrong with the autism puzzle piece? The puzzle piece symbol for autism and the search for the missing piece was instituted by Autism Speaks, an organization stating their mission as, quote, "A world where all people with autism can reach their full potential," end quote. In the autistic community, the puzzle piece represents Autism Speaks' approach towards self-advocating autists, and research and studies into autism's causes and treatments, including their pointedly rephrased search for a cure or end to autism. Many autists state that they are not a disease that needs curing. Many cite harmful experiences, both directly and indirectly, from dealing with the organization. The Actually Autistic movement was formed to embrace and encourage autists, empowering us to share our voices freely. The rainbow infinity symbol represents all neurodiversity inclusive of autism. When you light it up this year, join the new movement and light it up red instead. Watch my station for more. Bye now. It's Autism Awareness Day. Let's light it up blue. Wait, what does that even mean anyway? Light It Up Blue is trending. It's an easy way to show support and raise awareness of autism. Seems everyone's jumped on the bandwagon. Conversely, in the autistic community, many feel excluded by it. There's question over the choice to use blue coloring to represent boys, per the extreme male brain theory of autism, as it connects with the going idea that only white males can be autistic. There is even more question over the institution that popularized this phrase, Autism Speaks, for their historical concerns with curing autists, which has recently been rephrased. Many autists are consciously making a point of separating themselves from this organization. Raising autism awareness was a nice step. Our current step is raising autism acceptance. To that end, join the new movement and light it up red instead. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What is autism? Autism is a brain condition or state of being, resultant of changes in function due to the brain's development. Our brains literally form and work differently. Autism, or Autism Spectrum Disorder, ASD, is most commonly classified as a developmental disorder, which stems from multiple levels of social, communicative, and behavioral differences we display when compared with non-autistic or allistic individuals. Examples: social. We are quite often honest, clear, and don't mince words. Some think this overly blunt, even considering us rude. Communication. Selective mutism, temporary loss of speech, is not uncommon in response to overwhelm. Behavior. Routines and rituals are common and preferred. Disrupting these can lead to great upset. We like routine. When something works for us, it's law, don't break it. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Can you tell who's autistic by looking? According to the CDC, and I quote, "There's often nothing about how people with ASD look that sets them apart from other people." So no, it appears accepted that you cannot tell simply by looking. But can you tell who might be based on keen observation? Information from, for example, my videos might help you recognize these traits when you see them. Some of us show many more obvious traits for varying reasons. It might be easier to tell we're autistic when we're acting autistish. But know this, these traits vary widely in their presentation, are not necessarily exclusive to autism, and might not indicate autism each time you see them. Additionally, many of those who can will hide these traits in order to fit in with and be treated better by others. It's called masking, and it means that the apparent lack of these traits is not necessarily an actual lack at all. So what do you think? Can you tell? Watch my station for more. Bye now. What is autistic masking? Autistic masking, or masking our autism, is a process of altering the appearance of our autistic features in order to appear less autistic, less severely autistic, higher functioning, or not autistic at all. Masking can include constant and conscious changes to the way one will walk, sit, speak, including language and tone used in conversation, whether, when, and how we make eye contact with others, and suppressing our biological need to stim or self-stimulate. particularly if our personal stems are highly noticed and unaccepted in the outside world. Such changes are often used in groups based on each specific situation and used all day or until we are either alone or with a trusted loved one in a safe space. Some of us might not feel safe unmasking even then. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Why do autistic people mask? Autistic masking can be done for a variety of reasons, including attempting to fit in more with non-autistic people or simply attempting to stand out among them less. Many people learn at an early age how uncomfortable it is to feel so separated from the crowd. Unfortunately, the most common message is that our differences are flaws. It is named autism spectrum disorder. That is what prevents us from being accepted, and that we must appear normal in order to be healthy and valuable additions to society at large or at small. Some attempt to change themselves into whatever they believe will limit the separation between them and what can feel like everyone else in the world. Many feel need to mask inside of romantic relationships, often to prove to doubting love interests that they are as happy as they say they are. After all, our different vocal tones, cues, and expressions tend to take some learning to pick up on. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What does autism comorbidity mean? A comorbidity is a disorder or disease that occurs alongside or with a main disorder or disease. With autistic comorbidities, the premise is that autism is considered the main disorder or disease. Following that, there are many conditions and issues that are common or more common in the autistic community. Epilepsy, cerebral palsy, FXS, Fragile X syndrome, immune and metabolic disorders, gastrointestinal issues, sleep disorders, anxiety, depression, and language and intellectual impairments, to name a few. The list goes on to include ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and bipolar disorder. Personally, I'm autistic, ADHD, and dyslexic, and have lived with anxiety and depression for many reasons for most of my life. And that's not all, but that's it for today. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What is neurodivergence? Neurodivergence is a blanket term for atypical neurology amongst individuals. This can include, and is not limited to, ADHD, dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, hyperlexia, synesthesia, Tourette's, autism, Asperger's, CDD, or childhood disintegrative disorder, also known as Heller's syndrome, disintegrative psychosis, and dementia infantilis, PDD-NOS, or pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, and Rett syndrome, the last 5 of which were reclassified within ASD or autism spectrum disorder in the DSM-5. The list is expanding, expected to grow further. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What's the difference between the terms neurodivergent and neurodiverse? Neurodivergent is the correct way to refer to an individual whose brain is divergent or different from what is typical. Example, Christina is autistic, which makes her neurodivergent. Neurodiverse is the correct way to refer to a group of individuals wherein their brain types differ, with more than one brain type represented. Examples, a group of people who are all neurotypical is not a neurodiverse group because only one brain type is represented. A group of people who are all autistic is not a neurodiverse group. While each is neurodivergent, only one brain type is represented within the group. A group of people that consists of a mix of neurotypicals and autists is a neurodiverse group because more than one brain type is represented. Christina is neurodivergent. Owen is neurotypical. Together, they make a neurodiverse couple. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What is autism? Autism is a neurological condition that is characterized by a lack of autistic markers. Autism is to autistic what autism is to autistic. If you are apt to say something such as, "This is a person with autism," it would be equitable to also say, "This is a person with autism." Autism is not to be confused with neurotypicality. More on that in my next short. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What does neurotypicality mean? Neurotypicality is a neurological condition characterized by a lack of neurodivergence. It describes the condition of having a typical brain. Example: neurotypicality is often conflated with autism as they both describe a lack of autism. However, in order to display autism, one must only display a lack of autism. Conversely, in order to display neurotypicality, one must display a lack of all forms of neurodivergence. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What's the difference between allistic, autistic, neurodivergent, and neurotypical? Autistic means affected by or pertaining to autism. Allistic means not affected by or pertaining to autism. Neurodivergent means one who has, or a thing that is related to, a type of brain that is not considered common in the general population. Example: all autists are neurodivergent, but not all neurodivergents are autistic. Neurotypical means one who does not have, or a thing that is not related to, a type of brain that is not considered common in the general population. Example: all neurotypicals are allists, but not all allists are neurotypical. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What are functioning labels? Functioning labels such as high functioning, low functioning, or severe autism are identifiers used to refer to one's intensity of autistic traits and abilities to engage in such things as self-care, school, employment, and social activities. They are also used to identify autists who display these criteria. Some debate eliminating these terms. One concern is their effect on people who need greater support and haven't received it, because the term high functioning suggests that they might not need it. Another concern is the removal of these labels being misinterpreted by those who decide whether or not to institute support and accommodations, and for whom. Those labeled as lower functioning or severely autistic should be allowed to receive adequate support despite a label being removed or updated, as their needs still remain. Also concerning is possible division within the autistic community because of these issues and the need to advocate louder so each group will be heard. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What is stimming? Stimming means engaging in repetitive behaviors or stereotypy for the purpose of self-stimulation. In fact, the term is based on a shortened form of the term self-stimulatory behavior. Stimming is a common behavior amongst autists and amongst ADHDers, though in that case it is more likely to be associated with the term and fashion of fidgeting. It is known that all humans might commonly stim, and yes, fidgeting is a form of stimming. Examples of stimming include swaying, pacing, whistling, singing, rattling keys, playing with writing instruments, or stim toys such as fidget cubes and spinners, chewing or biting one's nails, hair, gum, snacks, foods, or silicone jewelry that is made to be safe for stimming, rocking, and hand flapping, far overly stereotyped though they might be. There is safe and harmless stimming, and there's also potentially unsafe and harmful stimming on the list. More on that coming soon. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Why do autistic people stim? Stimming is a self-regulatory behavior. That means, under stress, stimming helps the brain to process that stress in a more manageable way. Autistic brains work differently. What might be cooking slowly on a back burner for others might be on the front burner, high heat, and about to boil over for autists. Being able and allowed to stim is like automatically figuring out tricks to stop that boil over, moving the pot, lowering heat, and bridging a spoon on the pot to prevent overboiling again, all by instinct. Also, it just feels great. It's a relaxing massage for the mind. It causes pleasure and comfort even when everything's just fine. It piques the senses in all the best ways, and it doesn't cost anything to play. We stim with our bodies and our own space. It's a necessary, natural thing. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What is harmful stimming? Harmful stimming embodies many types of injuresome behaviors done in an attempt to regulate or control sensory input. Harmful stims might start as less harmful stims, such as nibbling one's lips or fingernails, and simply go too far. In many cases, harmful stims begin with harm, such as hitting one's face or head. When stims become harmful, it is often in response to such overwhelming physical, emotional, or psychological input that there seems no other way to handle, alleviate, or release it. It is not to be considered an intentional attempt at self-harm or violence. More on that to come. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What's the difference between harmful stimming and self-harm? Harmful stimming is self-regulation gone too far or gone wrong. It is marked by unintentional harm caused to oneself while attempting to control or manage overwhelming sensations. Self-harm or self-injury is also harm to oneself that might be used in an attempt to manage overwhelming sensations, yet it is marked by being caused intentionally. It can include ritualistic aspects and might be planned or awaited before it begins, whereas harmful stimming is less ritualistic and more an unplanned result of overwhelming stimuli in the moment. Self-harm carries the possibility of bringing a sense of euphoria from the release of endorphins and is commonly used to create feeling in a person who feels otherwise numb. Harmful stimming is literally an attempt to lower invading sensations and emotions and feel them less. These are key differences not only in understanding but in treating and redirecting these behaviors. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Can stimming be healthy? Yes. Healthy stimming helps control how autistic brains process input. It is normal in autists, safe, and improves autist mental health and well-being. Examples include auditory, sound, listening to repeated words, tones, songs; gustatory, taste, tasting, licking, mouthing, chewing, foods, silicone jewelry; olfactory, scents, sniffing, smelling, oils, flowers, love interest, hair, skin; proprioceptive, body awareness in space; walking, jumping, pacing, cracking knuckles, throwing balls; tactile, touch, rubbing, touching things like skin, silk, stone, wood; vestibular, balance, rocking, spinning; visual, sight, blinking, watching moving or still objects, lights, TV, maybe without sound; vocal, voice, speaking, repeating words, phrases, humming, singing, all done with health and safety. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Is this one cause of autism communication problems? Researchers have long since observed autists as suffering with a series of communicative difficulties, challenges, and problems, based on inabilities to naturally adopt typical conversational and social coding and traditions, when compared with neurotypicals, who seem to adopt these patterns more easily and naturally. A new study placed autists with neurotypicals, and neurotypicals with neurotypicals. Findings show that while NTs prefer the company of other NTs, importantly, autists prefer the company of other autists, and reported disclosing more about themselves with the other autists than with the NTs. This suggests that when two parties interact, the outcome is less reliant on the theory of ordered versus disordered communication clashes, and is more reliant on whether the parties' communication styles match or mismatch. That's news. Sources linked below. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What is rejection-sensitive dysphoria? Rejection-sensitive dysphoria, or RSD, is a condition wherein perceived rejection can cause such pain or discomfort that one will put great effort into avoiding any chance of it in the future, affecting the same parts of the brain that physical pain does. It can include both emotional and physical pain response to any type of rejection, true or perceived. Signs of RSD include high sensitivity to rejection, high standards for self, being easily triggered into feelings of guilt and shame, self-isolation in attempt to avoid future rejection, aggression toward those who you believe have slighted you. Causes of RSD include trauma, abuse, neglect, extreme rejection early in life, being raised with perfectionistic standards, unhealthy attachments with parents, caregivers. Development of RSD is common in both autistic and ADHD communities. Researchers question whether there is a genetic component in the predisposition toward developing RSD once it has been triggered. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Can autists understand sarcasm? Yes and no. The art of sarcasm is the art of saying one thing and meaning another. To process sarcasm, one must decode facial, vocal, and bodily gestures against what is actually being said. As a note, that might sum up the ultimate divide in autists and NTs' communication styles, where NTs excel at interactional coding, and autists excel at transparency and literalism. Sarcasm flies in the face of clarity with bells on. Many autists use sarcasm flawlessly, even amongst ourselves, but that conversation might go something like this. So I told Mercari you'd come to her rave tonight. Great, that's exactly what I need. Only thing that would make this day better is to be swallowed whole by a ticked off purple people eater with acid reflux and halitosis. Or I thought so until you called. Wow, I'm glad I called you today. Aw, that's so sweet. I thought you'd be annoyed by all the sarcasm. It helps if we know we're listening to a sarcastically inclined speaker. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Why does autism plus small talk suck? Give me conversational liberties or give me death! Nah, but we do like to go deep, to bond, form real and solid connections, know people, love them for who they truly are, flaws and all, and understand life better. I like reasonable full disclosure because it removes the mystery around life, feelings, mentality, spirituality, and everything else all in one fell swoop. It is clarity. Small talk is literally the opposite. Say you live somewhere cold and all you talk about every day with every new person is this: man, it's cold. Cold enough for you? I nearly froze my nipples off my baby's bottle out there. Now, how much deeper did you go into humanity on those days? That is what is kryptonite to those who love that clarity. Small talk is speech created to circumvent thought. Most of the time, that is not what we are about. Watch my station for more. Bye now. How does autism and literal thinking affect communication? In my previous video, I said sarcasm might sum up the divide in autistic and NT communication styles because autists who excel at literalism are regularly expected to think like NTs who excel at encoding. This is flawed. Example, Audie asks if you'll take the trash out. NT responds, yay, that's my favorite thing to do. Audie thinks that's odd, but maybe they like solitude and the fresh air. Because we took you literally, we then ask you to take the trash out every day because we hate it too. But you didn't say that. You said you loved it. Now you don't get why we keep asking. You think you were clear. We might hear idioms like it's up in the air and look up to see it. I heard raining cats and dogs as a child and thought, the carnage. We might then learn what must be an idiom because it makes no sense literally. Sarcasm often does make sense literally, so we take it that way. Watch my station for more. Bye now. What are some types of autistic speech presentation? The differences are plentiful and continue into adulthood and throughout life. Some autists are nonverbal, or more accurately non-speaking, and don't speak at all. Some are minimally verbal, speaking around 30 words or less. Some are hyperverbal, speaking quite often and or quite a lot. One early sign of autism is early speech, along with expansive vocabulary and speech capabilities, or hyperverbalism. On the flip side, delayed speech development is a very well-known indicator. For instance, missing milestones such as laughing or babbling along with caretakers by 12 months of age. Autists also commonly experience selective mutism, a condition in which one who can otherwise speak is unable to speak in certain situations or around certain people, and might lose all ability to communicate orally. This is not to be confused with selective mutism as a standalone diagnosis, which has different criteria when not accompanying autism. Watch my station for more. Bye now. How does autism happen and does it run in families? Researchers are exploring various potential causes, ranging from genetics to environmental factors to medications. While nothing is concrete just yet, the strongest indicator seems to be genetics. There are many mutations found across various genes in autists, which also vary amongst autists. Also, there are many people who are autistic and have autistic close family members or parents. In fact, parents often realize they are autistic by discovering traits first in their children and then recognizing them in themselves. However, there are also neurotypical and allistic parents of autistic children, and there are autistic parents of neurotypical and allistic children. The science is still up in the air. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Does autism go away with age, and can you outgrow it? There is a going belief that one can outgrow or behaviorally eliminate autistic brain functions. This belief is even held by some autists, and some people claim to have essentially been cured and no longer be autistic. According to the DSM-5, it is not possible to outgrow autism. Autism is a series of differences in the brain and the way it functions. It would be equitable to expect a neurotypical to outgrow their neurotypicality by implementing behavioral therapy to shield their behaviors and potentially hide it. That person would still be neurotypical, but might have learned how to fit in better with people who are not, by choosing not to display or being traumatized out of showing their natural, most comfortable and instinctive behaviors. See my videos on masking for greater detail. Autism can be misdiagnosed, meaning that later diagnosis can find that it was never there in the first place. Watch my station for more. Bye now. How do autistic brains work? Our brain's uniqueness might have something to do with the way subplate neurons form. Neurons are nerve cells that receive and send signals to various parts of our bodies. Subplate neurons create the first connections in the cerebral cortex during its development. The cerebral cortex is the outermost part of the brain. It is mostly gray matter, has between 14 and 16 billion neurons, and controls higher functions such as language and sensory processing, memory, emotion, consciousness, abstract reasoning, and thought. There is now a study that shows both increased neurons in the subplate and a difference in the type of neurons found in autistic versus neurotypical brains. And, to quote autismbrainnet.org, provides evidence that the subplate is being maintained in an earlier state of development in autism. Basically, autists display more and differing impulse conductors than neurotypicals, starting with the brain's development in the womb and continuing still much later in life. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Can Aspies have empathy? In relation to autism, most commonly referred to are affective and cognitive empathy. Affective empathy, or emotional empathy, is emotional response to extrinsic stimuli, the ability to actually feel another's feelings without having to experience it firsthand. Modern studies show that autists might actually surpass others in experiencing affective empathy. Cognitive empathy is intellectual response to extrinsic stimuli, or understanding another's feelings through thought and reasoning without sharing them. Its basis is in understanding others' affect, such as typical speech patterns and body language. This is traditionally challenging for autists. Development of cognitive empathy in autists is possible and not uncommon. Development of cognitive empathy in allists is a great step toward better understanding and toward achieving true autism acceptance. Watch my station for more. Bye now. Can Aspies or Auties feel love? Here's the truth. Autists are sentient. That means we can feel and react to sensations catalyzed by various stimuli. Touch, sound, we feel it. It means we are aware. Autists are sapient. We are conscious. We are self-aware. We are experiencing life. Autists have all of the necessary neurological components to feel, process, and desire love, like the rest of the human population. With modern technology readily available to so many, I've found documented, self-advocating, nonverbal, and/or physically challenged autists with very high support needs who offer proof that they are not to be excluded from this category. I speak for myself and the autists I know when I say we crave it, and when it's not there, we grieve it. Thanks for watching my 2022 Autism Acceptance Month celebration event. If you missed it, check my station for the playlist. Watch my station for more. Bye now.